echo through the historic walls of Monza, the temple of speed. This circuit is more than just a racetrack. It is a cathedral of motorsport where legends are made, hearts are broken, and speed becomes religion. Drivers spend nearly 80% of each lap at full throttle here, and every braking zone feels like a gamble between victory and disaster. For the 76th running of the Italian Grand Prix, the atmosphere is electric. Ferrari are rolling out a retro red and white livery to honor the 50th anniversary of Niki Lauda's first world title, a gesture that mixes nostalgia with the pressure of their current struggles. Jean Alesi will even climb into a classic V12 Ferrari for a demonstration run, a reminder of the days when Ferrari dominated this hallowed ground. But while the past is being celebrated, the present is full of battles that could decide the championship. The futures of young drivers and the hopes of millions of fans. At the center of it all is McLaren. The Papaya team has been the story of the season, with Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris locked in an internal war for supremacy. After Zandvoort, the momentum swung dramatically toward Piastri. Norris's retirement, due to a mechanical failure, left him 34 points adrift of his teammate, a massive gap considering only 2 men remain in the title fight. Yet Norris is not giving up. He has said publicly that he refuses to win a championship through Piastri's misfortune, insisting that his comeback must be earned on the track. It is a noble stance, but one that requires resilience under crushing pressure. Piastri, meanwhile, is proving himself to be ice cold in battle. With 7 wins compared to Norris's 5, and with McLaren securing 7 1-2 finishes this season, the Australian has positioned himself as the driver who delivers when it matters most. Calm, calculating, and consistent, Piastri has earned the nickname the Cerebral Assassin, a young man who rarely makes mistakes and punishes anyone who does. For Norris, the road back to contention may come with a heavy penalty. His engine pool is maxed out, and Monza could be the race where he is forced to take new components. That means starting lower down the grid, gambling on McLaren's pace to cut through the field. On one hand, Monza is the perfect track for such a recovery race, with long straights and DRS zones allowing overtakes. On the other, if Piastri controls the race from the front, Norris may find himself locked into damage limitation mode, watching the points gap stretch beyond repair. This is the cruel irony of Formula One. The Temple of Speed may either rekindle Norris's championship fire or extinguish it for good. While McLaren wrestle with their own civil war, Ferrari face a different kind of battle. This is their home race. The weekend when the Tifosi turned Monza into a sea of red flags, banners, and passion. No matter the results, Ferrari drivers are treated like gods here. But the reality is painful. No wins this season, 2 cars retiring together in Zandvoort, and expectations at rock bottom. Lewis Hamilton, now wearing Ferrari red, carries both hope and burden. His season has been an emotional roller coaster, filled with the thrill of joining motorsport's most iconic team and the heartbreak of failing to deliver victories. He arrives at Monza carrying a 5-place grid penalty, meaning he will likely start in the midfield, where the danger of Turn 1 chaos looms large. The memories of his 2021 clash with Max Verstappen at this very corner still haunt the circuit. For Hamilton, Monza will not be about chasing glory from pole position, but about fighting through adversity, keeping his car intact, and giving the home fans something to believe in. Ferrari's team principal Fred Vasseur has made it clear that the Scuderia cannot afford to give up, no matter how tough this season has been. Being surrounded by the passion of our Tifosi is an incredible motivation, he said, promising to give everything to repay their loyalty. The team's special livery, honoring Lauda's 1975 triumph, serves as a reminder of what Ferrari used to represent: dominance, resilience, and victory at Monza. But will Charles Leclerc or Hamilton be able to translate that emotion into results? History says it's unlikely, but this track has a way of rewriting destiny. Leclerc himself delivered one of Ferrari's most iconic modern victories here in 2019. And while the odds are stacked against him, no fan would dare count him out. Red Bull, meanwhile, are wrestling with their own internal drama. Max Verstappen may be out of the title picture this year, but he remains a 4-time world champion with the skill and hunger to disrupt McLaren's party. A win for Verstappen in Monza wouldn't change the standings dramatically, but it would serve as a reminder of his dominance and his ability to steal points when they matter most. His teammate, however, faces a very different reality. Yuki Tsunoda is once again fighting for his seat. Despite finally scoring points, his performance was overshadowed by rookie Isack Hadjar, who stunned the paddock with his first career podium. That single result has shifted the balance of power within Red Bull, and suddenly Tsunoda's future looks uncertain, with Helmut Marko extending the deadline for a decision until the Mexican Grand Prix. Every race now becomes an audition for Yuki. Monza in particular will be unforgiving. Its gravel traps punish the smallest mistakes. Its curbs rattle the cars violently, and a moment of over-aggression can end an entire weekend in seconds. Tsunoda knows this. He admitted that his primary goal is simply to score points consistently, to prove to himself and his team that he belongs. But in Formula One, consistency alone may not be enough. If Hadjar continues to deliver and the Racing Bulls gain momentum, Tsunoda could find himself watching from the sidelines in 2026. This subplot adds a fascinating tension to the weekend. Will Tsunoda rise under pressure, or will Monza mark the beginning of the end for his Red Bull journey? Beyond the headline teams, the midfield carries its own intrigue. George Russell continues to build a reputation as one of the grid's most dependable drivers, quietly collecting podiums and maximizing opportunities when chaos strikes at the front. Fernando Alonso, the Eternal Warrior, remains a wild card. He knows what it means to win at Monza, and though Aston Martin have struggled to match the top teams, Alonso's racecraft and experience mean he can never be dismissed. And then there are the Racing Bulls themselves, riding high after Hadjar's podium and eyeing a chance to overtake Aston Martin in the constructors' standings. For a team once seen as a junior outfit, a strong Monza performance would be another step toward establishing themselves as genuine midfield powerhouses. Monza is more than just strategy and speed, it is spectacle. This year's event will once again be a festival of motorsport. Fans will flock to the track not just for the race, but for the music, the air shows, the fan zones, and above all, the chance to witness history. With its long straights and low downforce, setup strategy will likely hinge on a one-stop race, making tire management critical. A single safety car could flip the order upside down. Slipstreaming down the main straight into turn 1 can create breathtaking overtakes, but it also creates the ever-present risk of pileups in the opening lap. This is what makes Monza unpredictable. It rewards bravery, but it punishes recklessness. The lights go out on Sunday, the storylines will collide. Will Lando Norris rise from the shadows of bad luck and engine penalties to mount a comeback, or will Oscar Piastri tighten his grip on the championship and announce himself as McLaren's new king? Can Ferrari, pushed by the raw emotion of the tifosi and the weight of history, deliver an unexpected triumph on home soil? Will Max Verstappen reassert himself as a spoiler, proving that he is never out of the fight? And perhaps most intriguingly, will Yuki Tsunoda save his career with a heroic drive? Or will Monza belong to the new generation led by Hadjar? The Temple of Speed always delivers drama, and this year it feels like the stakes could not be higher. For McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull, and every driver on the grid, Monza represents both opportunity and danger. One mistake could end a season. One victory could redefine a legacy. So as the engines fire and the tifosi erupt in a chorus of passion, one question remains. Who will rise above the pressure, and who will be swallowed by it? Tell me in the comments below. Which storyline are you most excited to follow this weekend? And who do you think will be the dark horse of the Italian Grand Prix?